your one-stop solution to everything learning. Verzeo, 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 your one-stop solution to everything learning.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, Pandor. Thank you so much for joining our premium webinar. I am Anusha and I will be the host for this webinar on IoT and Industry 4.0. So let me tell you a little bit about these webinars. So the main agenda of this webinar is to help our Verzeo community upskill. All right. So a lot of you have a lot of skills, but when it comes to applying them, people lack that skill. So that's what we want to fix, and we also want to familiarize our community with the up and coming technologies and how you can, keep yourself up to date on in this competitive market. So today we have with us Mr. Siddharth Bhatter, who is the founder of Karkhana. He has done his Bachelor of Electronics and Communication Engineering and also a master's in embedded systems. He has a experience of about 6 years in numerous companies, like including Sony, SCOM India, Picare, and Karkhana, which is his company. Mr. Siddharth is also proficient in lots of softwares and technologies like MATLAB, C++, Visual uh, circuit designing, embedded PCB design, Verilog, Arduino, and also robotics. He's an ardent public speaker and he has excellent interpersonal communication skills, team management, and leadership skills as well. The passion for coding and electronics has carried him throughout his education. The passion also stayed the same after his education, and that is when he thought of spreading the knowledge around the globe. Siddharth has acquired the prestigious award that is the South India's most vibrant young entrepreneur award by the New Indian Express. The way he looks at the coming future, yet more to learn, yet more problems to solve, and yet more to build. I'll hand it over to Siddharth now. He will walk you through the topic IoT and Industry 4.0. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining. You can take it ahead from here.
Thank you for the kind introduction. So I hope I am loud and clear to all of you. If you can confirm, please.
Yeah, yeah, you are audible. I think you can.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So let's talk about the today's topic. So today's topic is perfectly about IoT and Industry 4.0, as you can see on your screens as well, right? And yeah, so as host said, like many of you have the idea how technology is and what technology is, but what is the basic technology behind the scene, which you actually cannot visualize, right? And how things are working. So, Internet of Things is a very buzzing word, as we all know, and as we are seeing, like automation is growing at a rapid stage. Okay, so even in the industries, in the automation, in the manufacturing plants, even in the automobile industries, FMCG industries, food manufacturing, and all. So everywhere nowadays, completely industries are automated. Now, automation is not just the meaning we just simply automate the machines or automate the robotic process, but we also have to introduce some sensory networks, wireless sensor networks, so that we can take the analytics of that particular data. Okay. So I will keep my things clear. So today's agenda is very clear. What is IoT? Why do we need IoT? Benefits of it. Then what are the features and some real-time implementation. So I will start with some real-time implementation first, and maybe as you are from maybe from Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, Gurgaon, or somewhere in the Tier 1, Tier 2 cities, you all are using some IoT products on a daily basis, right? So here are few examples on your screen which you can see. The first is the smart thing, right? The smart thing is basically a smart switch. Okay. Now, smart switch is like nowadays we all know the pain of turning on and turning off the lights and fans and devices. Okay. So what we need a smart device. With the help of our smartphone, we can simply turn it on. Now it looks so simple uh, when we talk about the front part. The device is from Wipro, maybe from Cisco. Okay. So second device that we have is a Fitband. Now this Fitband we all are using as a smart Fitband or health band or whatever you basically call it as. But again, why this Fitband is used? This Fitband is used for health tracking. Now, health means to say, yeah, it's a again 3,000 crore industry in India, the healthcare industry, and we all are working on connected healthcare. Even one of my startup is also in the same domain, as said, P Care. It's a connected healthcare industry products where you can keep a track on your health and store the data, analyze the data on the cloud. Okay, so that is all because of these type of products which are connected. And then again, few sensors like Nest alarm sensor. Okay, then we have iKettle, which can like make a coffee for you before you wake up. Okay, so no need to call anyone for the coffee. You simply put an alarm at 6:30 you need a coffee, and this machine will automatically make a coffee for you and give you an alert as well. Your coffee is ready, you can take it. Also, although it's a self-service, but again, right? So these type of products are available, and yeah, very familiar. Amazon Echo is a very familiar device, and we all are using it from since 2015 around. Okay, so this Amazon Echo is actually recording your audio, analyzing it, comparing it with the database, and give you the desired results and output in the form of audio only. This is also an example of IoT. Then we have smart diapers. So yes, those who are having babies and maybe very small, right? So you can use these smart diapers, and we know like how much hygiene we need for the small baby, right? So this is one of the biggest problem in India, and these smart diapers can solve this issue. So companies like Pampers and Huggies, they are already into the same line and they are creating it, right? Then yeah, so we are more of pet lovers nowadays, and almost if you see the number of pets growing around in a city is increasing on daily basis. Okay, and again, if they lost somewhere, we are a little bit more worried. So what we have done, we have simply installed one GPS tracker, and with the help of that GPS tracker, we can easily track them where they are. Then we have one product, Happy Fog, and also light bulb, LIFX. Even in India, Wipro LED and Cisco LED has already launched this product, right? Which where you can actually uh, change the ambience of light and also change your mood as well. So these are some a few products that you have seen on my screen, and these products are somehow related to IoT. Now, I have not talked about any kind of industry product yet, but again, the industrial product is a completely different aspect. These are all consumer-based products. Okay. So if I say how these all are connected, so in Internet of Things, the first and the primary part is internet. You require internet for connecting anything. Like say, if I am giving you a webinar and if I am sharing my knowledge. So how it is possible? It is possible because I have connected over the internet, and that internet is connected over some network. Okay. So the first thing is this: we require a network. Now, who set up this network? Right. Now you say, sir, like I have Airtel, I have Geo, I have private Wi-Fi or maybe some office Wi-Fi. But again, your Wi-Fi provider is not an internet service provider. You have to understand this. Okay. And in terms of uh, internet, in terms of Wi-Fi, service providers are different, maybe, but they are not the source of internet. Okay, source of internet is everyone. Everyone is creating data on internet. Everyone is generating data. Everyone is storing data. So we all are the part of this ecosystem, and we all are connected and sharing the data just because we have the network access. Okay. Now, if I say this is a very common thing which we usually seen in 2017, 15, or 16 maybe when Chrome browser was launched. But at the time we are not having that much particular internet service, so we always seen this error, internet everywhere, and we are a bit worried. Now today, if you are not having internet for 1 second, you are more worried. Oh man, what happened? But now how can I work? Because you can understand the dependency on internet. Okay, so companies like Facebook, Google, and Starlink, and I think you are much familiar with the Starlink. They have their own satellites. They are launched, okay, and they are claiming they will provide super high speed at a very affordable rates. So still in India, these services are not available, but very soon maybe it will be. Right. So these are three companies. There are a couple of number of more companies are there who are working in this domain, so that you all have the internet access 24 into 7. Right. So if I say why we use internet particularly, so we use internet for these three things. The first is social networking. Okay. Second is information access. Third is services. Now, social network and information access is like 70% of our work. On daily basis, 70 to 80% we always use social network and Googling. Whatever we have to ask, we never use our brain, we just simply ask to Google. Okay, because someone somewhere already has stored some information which can be easily accessible from Google search engine. But the third thing is a service. So services are something which these companies are providing to you. Now, what are those companies? Those companies like again Google services, Google Cloud service, Amazon Cloud service, Microsoft Azure Cloud service, Oracle Cloud service, right? So these companies have their one more section which is services. And if I say a very simple example, a Google Drive. So Google Drive is the service of Google, okay, where you can upload your data, where you can check out your files, where you can edit your files as well. So if you are saying you are not having a paid version of Microsoft Office, so you can upload your file on Google Cloud, and there you can also edit your file. Now that is a part of a Google service. Even in the same way, if you're not having Microsoft Office, you can go to Microsoft Cloud, there you can upload your file and also you can edit from there. But again, you need an internet, right? Everything offline is not possible. So when I talk about the other services like IoT, AIML, data analytics, data science, AR/VR, or satellite communication, okay, and there are a lot of other technologies are there. So these companies are providing their services so that you can avail those service at a very affordable rate and create your own applications on their platform, right? And as expected, by 2030, the way we are growing, the way we are purchasing the devices, and by 2030, approx 50 billion devices will be there in India itself and connected to internet. Okay, even if you check out around yourself, you will see 4 or 5 device minimum around you, maybe directly connected to internet, maybe indirectly connected to internet. Indirectly means to say, the example is Fitband. So Fitband is not directly connected to internet. You have to pair it with your Bluetooth, and then it will be connected via to the internet, and so you can share the data. Right? So this is how it works. Now, yeah, we know like internet is not at all like we are using in the daytime and we are not using in the night time. It's always connected nowadays. If you are at a home and you are having a Wi-Fi, it means you are completely on the internet, right? And the devices on your screen which are already connected to the internet, and the last device that was left is the smart car. Okay, and now if you check out your cars, like companies like Tesla, they have created connected self-driving cars. Now, what is the meaning of connected self-driving means? It's a self-driving, have onboard processing unit, onboard sensors, but still the algorithm and the maximum processing is done on the cloud side. So for connecting your car to the cloud, you need internet, right? So we all are just waiting for one more thing, which is 5G. So the moment 5G came into the game, okay, you will see the change in the, you can say, exponential change in the technology. Okay, many companies are waiting for just 5G to be launched because obviously we all have a bandwidth issue as well nowadays. Right? So if I come to the proper definition now, as I said, so definition says it's just connecting ordinary things with a computer network so that they can behave as an intelligent machine. The very common example is a smart washing machine, a smart refrigerator, a smart microwave oven, or maybe smart air conditioner, right? Because smart TVs are already there. Okay. So if I talk about these products, so these products, how they are smart, the reason is only one thing, because they are connected and they are giving you the data. Let's say on a daily basis, I turn on my air conditioner at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. every night, and I turn it off at 3 a.m. Now, if I tell my AC this thing every every day for a couple of months, now after 6 months or after 1 year, my AC will automatically turn on at 10 o'clock in the night, and it will turn out automatically at 3 a.m. in the morning. How and why? Because you have given that much amount of input. That's why your AC is now behaving as an intelligent AC. Okay. So if you are buying a smart AC, right now it's not responding automatically, but later on it will be. Right. So that's the whole sole purpose of IoT or introduction to IoT. Now, why IoT? So at the end of the day, whatever you are doing, okay, your whole sole purpose is for generating the data. Right. You have to get the data from anywhere, fine. And in the case of IoT only, IoT is fundamentally the first source of data. Right? The very first data is created from IoT side. Like when you create a Facebook account, you upload your photos from computer, right? But if you talk about CCTV, so CCTV is a hardware device where it is capturing the environment and storing that data on the cloud. Later on, you can even visualize that data. Right? And if in case you want to do image processing or further processing on it, you can also process that data as well. Right? So now, once I capture the whole amount of data, out of that data, we have to do separation. Separation means to say which data is beneficial for me or not. All right. So if I talk about the third stage is IoT Cloud. So we have talked about hardware, we have talked about internet connectivity. Now we'll talk about the cloud part, where ultimately we have to store the data. Right? So cloud services are provided by many companies like Microsoft Azure, like Google Cloud, like Amazon Web Service, like IBM, like all these companies, Oracle, Salesforce, Car, Credits, Cisco, and many others are there. Now, if I talk about what are these cloud services, so if you fundamentally look at this, any one service I am taking right now, it's AWS. So on AWS, when data came on your server, from your server, you will send it to database management system. From database management system, it will go to different services like AWS Lambda service, AWS SNS service. Okay, and it will respond according to your rules and regulations. Okay. In the same way, if you talk about Google Cloud, on Google Cloud as well, you will see that data is collecting on one part and you are analyzing it, right? So this is how basically cloud works, and obviously it's not at all an easy task to set up any cloud. There's a lot of things are involved in the backside of it, backend of it. So and the hard level coding is required if you actually want to create your own backend of it, right? So now the big question arises if many of your students over here, as I know, so how it actually works. Okay, the big question is how it actually works. So or maybe from where you can start, right? So the very first thing is you have to understand which sensor is required, right? Which sensor is required. Second is okay, yeah. Very first thing is which programmable device is required actually. Okay, which device like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, or Node MCU. This one you can use. Second is which sensor you have to use so that you can collect the environment data. Let's say light sensor, temperature sensor, humidity sensor, distance sensor, plane sensor, like that. Third is how you connect that device with the internet via Wi-Fi, via Bluetooth, via Zigbee, or any other protocol. And last but not the least, which platform you are using for visualizing your data. Okay, because until unless you are not able to visualize it, you are not able to properly give the analytics of data. Okay, so these four pillars are required for setting up an IoT infrastructure. Okay, although IoT security is also one of the major reason, okay, major aspect, but I have not talked about the IoT security because that's a completely you can say different concept over here to talk about. But yes, you can keep in mind, yeah, IoT security is one of the major uh, reason for the successful working of this infrastructure. So these, whenever you are thinking of creating any IoT project, these five questions should come in your mind. Okay, then only you can create a successful product out of it. Maybe your project, maybe your product, depend. So the very first thing is which sensor and how to use that sensor. Second is which controller, maybe microcontroller, maybe a system on chip, or maybe any processor. Which programming language you want to use, C++, Python, Java, something like that. Which cloud service you want to use, and which protocol. Okay. So these five questions, if you have answered initially before starting with your project or product, right, then you can easily and simply create a product in a streamed way, okay, in a proper flow. So this is a whole idea and knowledge about the IoT, right? And on the screen, I have shared some sample like Intel Galileo, Raspberry Pi, temperature sensor, proximity sensor, SC05 wireless module, ESP8266 Wi-Fi module, right? Node-RED, Python, Adafruit. So these all are a mixture of an IoT ecosystem. So I hope I share a bit of knowledge about IoT and how it works. And now we are open for the questions. Okay, so
Yeah, Siddharth, we have a few questions which were submitted by the
yes,
students while registering. So I will just read out those, and you can answer that for
mm-hmm.
them. So
Okay, okay, sure.
yeah, the first question we have is, what would the landscape of IoT be in the next 5 years?
So if I give you the clear projection,
Mm-hmm.
uh, within next 5 years, uh, everyone is at least using 10 device which is connected to IoT.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can calculate the number of urban users and rural users. Okay, because IoT is not restricted to only urban users. It is also going towards the rural side, like in agriculture, okay, in farming side, in crop detection, like that also. So obviously, if I say averagely we have a population of 130 crores, okay, so you can multiply three products each person.
Correct. Alright. Okay, great. Thanks for answering that. The next question we have is how IoT will be affected with the artificial intelligence driven tool.
Yeah, so that's a like little bit amazing question. But what I can say is I don't know what will happen in the future, but because at the pace where the technology is converting and growing, so right now IoT is the primary source of data for the AI engines. Okay, so if I want to measure the temperature of my office after 5 years, okay, so initially I have to capture the data of my office now with the help of IoT,
Of course.
right? But yeah, to keep my thing more intelligent, I have to feed them with the new data as well.
Correct.
Okay, so IoT will always parallelly run with AI
All right.
as per my vision.
Okay, perfect. The next question is, do you think we will be able to link IoT with metaverse?
Yes, completely agree. Okay, so the reason is, let's take an example. In metaverse, everything is virtual. Okay, and I am having my virtual glasses now. If I am having a smart farming or a smart plant at my house, okay, so that smart plant, if I want to water it, okay, so with the help of my Oculus or maybe AR/VR glass, I can just simply tell my system to plant water. Okay, so if you can understand that if I give a control from virtual reality, it will go to cloud, from cloud to my hardware, and hardware will plant my motor, run my motor, and motor will give the water to my plant. So it is connected,
All right.
right? So this is how it works. And even there are few companies in Bangalore like Holo Suit, Holo World, right? They are working on the same thing. They are connecting the physical body motions with the metaverse.
All right, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for sharing that info with us. Another question we have is, why do you think school and college students should focus on hardware based developments rather than software based developments?
Okay. So again, for this, I would like to answer because see, in 2010, when software industry started booming, okay, because if you check out every every 10 years gap, in 2000 when internet came, that is the internet age. Okay, everyone purchased those internet connected device and mobile phones or maybe computer. In 2010, when industry shifted towards mobile phones and smartphones, there again one recession came where everyone shifted to computer, completely shifted to computer. And now, from last 2 years, we all have seen Make in India, Made in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. These all policies government is launching. So till date, if you are saying we can boycott China, I totally disagree on this point. We cannot completely boycott China until and unless we start our hardware manufacturing plants in India. Okay, so the product that you are using or someone else is using is not at all made in India. It's completely made in China, and these all are electronics based products. Even a software person has to write a code. They need a laptop. Okay, they need a mobile phone. So how they will write the code if they don't have a electronics hardware? Okay, so India has to focus on manufacturing in India and the hardware that you are particularly saying. And hardware is not like a backspace button. Okay, so it requires lot of knowledge, lot of patience, lot of programming skills. Then only you can create one proper hardware device. Right. That's why in this industry, like Bangalore is already a hub of semiconductors in India, and many product manufacturers are there. But again, there are very limited few people in India who are working in semiconductor domain.
Okay.
Few in the sense comparatively to the software industry, I'm saying.
All right. The next question we have is, what do you think are the challenges against IoT?
So the very first challenge is data privacy,
Mhm,
right, and the data security.
mhm,
So the security means to say, whenever we are on any wireless network or maybe wired network, now till date we are secure because we have antiviruses and all. But if I ask someone how you can install antivirus on IoT device, okay, or how you can install antivirus on your Fitband, so that's little bit not possible. Yeah, companies are creating those firewalls at a different levels like gateway, or maybe the data encryption is there. Okay, so at these levels we are basically securing our infrastructure of IoT. But again, yeah, no, obviously whenever something new came in the market, so hackers also came in the market. Okay, at that level. So we will find that scenario maybe someday. My home lights are automatically turning on at 3 a.m. Okay, someone has already hacked it. He is controlling my whole house. That may be a possibility, but again, we have to be very secure so that we can buy only those products which are claimed to be too much secure. Okay, if you are buying again Chinese products like CCTV cameras, so if you just simply Google it, you will find multiple open source live cameras. Okay, so why those are available? Because someone hacked that camera and share the link in the public. So in the same way, in future, if our house is connected and if someone share my link to someone, so they can control my house.
Right. Okay. So the last question that we have is,
Yes.
what are the skills that a student or a candidate must have so that he can, secure a career in IoT? So I feel there's a
So
lot of gap between what is taught in colleges and what the industries are looking for. Since you are a founder of an industry yourself, uh, what would be the prospective skills that you're looking for?
all right. So I just want to this question in a very particular way. So if I talk about IoT, so IoT is divided into three parts, right?
Right.
One is hardware, one is internet, where the networking skills is required, and third is a software part, which is cloud. Okay. Now, it's not at all a matter from which branch you are. Okay. If you are a semiconductor person, still you can be an IoT engineer. If you are a network engineer or maybe from IT background, BSc or MCA or BCA, you can be a network engineer. You can help setting up the infrastructure for IoT. Okay. And the last one is the computer science students who are particularly looking for software development part. You can also learn about Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Web Services, and you can set up a complete cloud infrastructure where someone can send the data and visualize the data. Right. Now, if I again make a branch of this, so in the hardware domain, you can learn embedded system, you can learn PCB designing, you can learn wireless technologies. Okay, these are the booming sectors. People are actually looking for someone who can teach them wireless technologies because we know how to use wireless or Wi-Fi, but we don't know how Wi-Fi works. Okay,
Right.
we all are using Bluetooth, but we don't know how Bluetooth works.
Right.
Okay, so working using it and working on it, these are two different aspects.
Mm.
Okay, the middle part is the internet connectivity. If I say uh, how internet works, maybe 50% audience know how actually internet works. 50% will answer it comes from satellite. Okay, but that's not a reality.
Of course.
And we have to understand the you can say the complexity behind the internet infrastructure.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not at all an easy job for setting up. And if you have ever seen like the person who come to our houses for setting up the set-top box or the internet, they're not at all engineering graduates. They
Right.
all are diploma students,
Right.
and they have a actual more knowledge than us because again that's a field job. Okay, and I'm also engineer, but I mostly on the fields. Okay, the reason because uh, what I have seen in last 7 8 years in this industry in the education domain is being an engineer we only think we have to sit in front of computer and just type on. Okay, but that's not a job of an engineer. We have to innovate something,
Right.
right? And
Right.
you cannot innovate in front of computer. You have to go in field. Okay, so uh, working on optical fiber, how these two optical fibers are combined. These all are the practical hands-on experience. Okay, and that too are not taught in the colleges.
Yeah.
Okay. So uh, we have to think like in a different aspect and different perspectives should be there. If you want to actually learn something, you have to be in the field. Okay, your YouTube can give you only 1% of knowledge. Rest,
Correct.
rest 99 is from experiential learning.
So I think the takeaway here would be strengthen your basics and get as much hands-on training as
Correct.
possible.
True. True.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Siddharth. Uh, so I think we'll be wrapping up then. Thank you so much
Sure.
for joining us today and enlightening our students about the field of IoT and how they can, pursue a successful career here. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you joining us. And I think our viewers, whoever have joined the webinar, we'll be posting a link for attendance. Please fill it so that you can get your certificates of participation. It'll be available in the chat box. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Verzeo,
Thank you,
for
Siddharth.
inviting.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Visit Verzeo.com, subscribe to our channel to know more. Thank you. Visit Verzeo.com, subscribe to our channel to know more.